I think like that because not one thing defines who I am personally. That's how I look at myself. So I don't think on one specific thing because all these other things make up all that I am, if that makes sense. And also I know what I've done. So that's not, no one can take anything away from me.
That's a bar. What's poppin', y'all? For Complex, I'm Jordan Rose, and today I am joined by rapper, actress, singer, entrepreneur, and all-around blueprints. Eve is in the building.
What's up?
Eve, how you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. Obviously, by the intro, I am very excited to be joined with you today.
Well, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Of course. So I think the first question I have, you're an icon.
Oh, thank you.
You are the blueprint. You're an icon. How does that feel?
I don't know. I don't think of myself that way.
Yeah.
So I don't use those kinds of words with myself. But I feel very grateful that, you know, people may want to say that about me. I would never say it about myself.
But you should say it about yourself.
I mean, I love myself. I know all the things that I've accomplished, but yeah, I just, yeah.
Humble first, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just recently or currently are doing the NYU Steinhardt program.
Yes, just recently finished, actually. Yeah.
What was that experience like, being like a professor
Yeah.
or, host lecturer?
No, it was amazing. I immediately, though, in the beginning, like when they asked me, I was like, yes, but I had imposter syndrome because I'm like, what do you mean, professor? But it was such a great experience. Something new, which I love to dive into new things. And I learned a lot by doing it. I got to actually do like a collaboration with some alum and some of the students. We did like a big party at the end, kind of like a celebration, and just working with musicians. You know what I mean? Like it opened me up and really inspired me. It was really nice. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask, if imposter syndrome still sets in even at this stage of the game.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, listen, maybe not for everyone, but I love to walk through all doors. I say yes a lot to a lot of things because I actually do like to feel uncomfortable, which is it's just weird. But then I feel like, you learn things about yourself through that uncomfortableness. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having imposter syndrome as long as you're learning, or willing to be open and learning, what you're doing.
Yeah. It's almost going to be a year of the release of your memoir, Who's That Girl?
Yeah.
What has it been like to see your story out in that way rather than how it has been via the music?
Yeah, I after we wrote the book, I kind of was like, oh, that was great. I did it. And then I realized, oh, damn, I got to talk about everything in the book, which was scary. Yeah. It was more the having to talk to people and say it out loud was like a really scary part for me. But then once I started doing some of the interviews and I got the responses, people were so, I don't know, they were just so really, really understanding, really interested, really thoughtful. And I think that's what allowed me to be like, okay, this was the right time to do this book. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the written word, we actually have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Never uh-oh.
Okay.
The third ever issue of Complex, which is your cover.
I love this.
Yes. Please take a look.
Oh my God, yeah. This was a dope. Yeah.
What do you remember about this shoot? 2002.
2002. I don't know. I mean, the fashion was great. Mm-hmm. The fashion was great. It's very slick. I'm trying to think who was my stylist at this time. I can't remember who was my stylist at this time, but
Annan was the stylist.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy Mugler.
Yes. Oh wait, vintage Mugler. I mean, can't be mad at that at all. Oh yes, that jacket. That's definitely Mugler. Nah, this is gorgeous. It's great. I mean, it's just a beautiful shoot. Honestly, I think this was probably one of the kind of sleekest shoots that I had done up until this time. I don't think I was doing stuff like that just yet. Maybe just kind of roaming into this world, I guess, of like fashion, things like that. So, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Love it.
I mean, you were 23 years old on this cover.
Yeah.
Can you take it back and do you remember what's going through 23-year-old Eve's mind on this shoot?
I think I was just living, you know what I mean? Like I think I was just doing, it was so busy. It was so busy. Like you went from the next thing, from the one thing to the next thing to the next thing. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I probably was just like hungry and I don't know, who knows. And excited to be there. I do remember that. Like I always was and still am. You know, I'm excited to be in the places that I go to because I don't ever take anything for granted. So I'm sure 100% I would have been excited to be there.
This year is the 26-year anniversary of Let There Be Eve.
Yes.
Last year was the 25-year anniversary.
Yes.
What do you think about when you think about that pivotal project for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was, like you said, it was a pivotal project. This is my time album. You know what I mean? I took all my life up until that moment was writing that particular album. You know, I have tons of my friends that I hung out with are on the skits. You know what I mean? Like it's a very local album. I guess in a way.
Yeah.
A local Philly album, but also a local New York album. Obviously, Rough Riders all over it. And it was fun. It was a quick. We did that album in 2 months, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, we lived in the studio, but it was great. Yeah.
What's your favorite memory attached to it?
I don't know if I have one favorite. Like every day was creating. Every single day there was something getting done, whether it was a beat, a skit, me writing a verse, me laying a verse. Like it was a machine. So I think it was the whole process, and it was my first time doing. It was my first album, so I think the whole thing, it was the learning process in a way. You know what I mean? And to be honest, it was the time before it got serious. Because to me, I still wasn't in the business. I was just making an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Doing it for fun.
Doing it for fun. Yeah.
Do you feel like the fun left at some point when the business part of it got super hectic?
It's not that it leaves. It just becomes, you just realize what the seriousness of it is. You know, when I went, I remember like signing my contract and being like, I only need to do one album. Like, and they're like, that's not how it works. Like, you are signed to this label. Like, you owe us some music.
Right.
But I was so happy. I just wanted to put out a record and be heard. And you quickly realize, especially when things do well, how much more pressure is on you so that you can continue that cycle. And yeah, it's not that it's not fun. It just becomes serious. It becomes serious in a different way.
The job part of it kind of like...
it becomes a job.
I remember you were saying last year that you were thinking about reworking it or re-releasing the project. Do you still have those plans in mind?
Yeah, we go back and forth about what makes sense because ultimately, you know, a lot of my songs live on their own and you don't want to really mess anything up. You know what I'm saying? And try to also relive any moments because that's never what you want to do. But we think about it. I don't know. I think it's more that every time we get a little closer, it's kind of like, but then what do you do to it? But what's been nice is that my songs have been able to kind of have new life in different ways. So like with Central Cee, you know, doing Doja is great. Because that is a record, like, I would have never thought that Blow Your Mind could be that. Yeah. If someone told me that, I'd probably be like, nah. But hearing it, I was like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, so, you know, I look at it like that. As long as they can have some sort of new life and it's good, then I'm great. I'm fine. Yeah.
Have you and Central Cee had any conversations, especially because you're out in London now?
Yeah, we've only met one time. We met like briefly after that record came out because I had to obviously approve it. And then I got to see him. But my bonus kids are the age that love him. So then I became cool stepmom because I took them to a Central Cee concert.
Okay.
So I talked to him for like briefly. He's just a sweet kid and yeah. I mean, or man, I can't say kid.
Yeah. But does it trip you out at all that that generation may not even connect that he's using the Blow Your Mind sample on Doja?
No, not really. I think well, what's been good is we both actually do it in both of our shows.
Okay,
so like
fire.
he starts before he does Doja, he starts with Blow Your Mind, and before I do Blow Your Mind, I start with Doja.
That's cool.
So we just haven't had the moment to bring it together physically. We've had almost moments.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be dope if we got to do it together. But it's just never happened time wise, and we're never on the same continent, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully, some people hearing it, tying it together. Because even for me, doing these shows that I'm doing now, it's helping people that grew up with my music hear that and be like, oh damn, what's that?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Have you been able to listen to like UK rap at all since you've been out there for like over a decade now?
Yeah, I mean, I hear it. I don't think I put anyone on specifically, but of course I listen to it. I think UK rap has found its life. I think for years, in a way, they were trying to emulate what we do in America because in a lot of ways we are the blueprint to some extent. And then I think they found their niche and figured out like, nah, we need to be telling our stories our way, the way we sound. And now I think UK rap is great. Yeah.
It's so cool though that you've lived out there for as long as you have, but you don't have a British accent at all.
Nah, I say certain words now though, and people will catch me out that know me. Like, because of my son mainly, so I try to say words that he says, but no, I can't go back to Philly
with a British
British accent. Like, cannot do that.
Yeah, that just shows though. It's like you can never take it. You may not live in Philly anymore, but you can't take that Philly out of you.
Never.
So the reason I introed you in as the Blueprint is because you were doing so many things first or really early in the sense of rapping, acting, having your own show, having your own fashion line, all in the early 2000s when that really wasn't the norm.
Yeah.
So how did you balance wearing all of those hats? And kind of like, what was your North Star back then?
No, I mean, you can't do all that shit by yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I had great management, a great team, really, because that's what it actually takes. I definitely think I was doing a lot, but at the time, you're in it. You don't have time to think about the toll it's taken or what it is you're doing. You just go to the next, to the next, to the next. But again, like I think if I didn't have a great team, then all those things would not be able to be accomplished. Yeah.
And in your memoir, speaking of teams, you talk about how Rough Riders was like that brotherhood, those big brothers that really were a tribe that you valued so highly. Yeah. How important do you think that they were to your development and growth coming up?
Oh my God, wildly important. I think before them, I really did get A&R'd at being, on Rough Riders. And I always called Darren Dean my coach because I came as like a battle rapper. That was like my thing in Philly. Like I always wanted to be in a cypher and whatever. And he was the one, or they were the ones that taught me how to make a song, like an actual song, and how you break it down. But also, when I talked about this, I actually spoke about this earlier with someone, that I feel lucky because they never tried to make me be like anything else that was out. They really celebrated the fact that I was the type of MC that I was, the type of woman that I was. And I think that helped tremendously as well. Like, give me the confidence to just be the artist I wanted to be. Yeah.
What do you listen to lately? I feel like you can never, even if you're not actively writing raps, you can never take yourself out of it. Like, what do you listen to on the daily?
I mean, at the moment, the new Clipse album is everything.
Yeah.
It feeds my soul.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I listen to a lot of Afro beats.
Okay.
I love Afro house. That's probably my go-to. And dance, I listen to a lot of dance actually. Yeah.
What did you think of the Clipse Roll Out, which was super kind of nostalgic, OG hip-hop, of them going all the outlets, doing all the covers? What did you think of that?
I think it's great. I mean, obviously, because I grew up in that.
Yeah.
So for me to see it and because I've always been a fan, that excites me. Like, it really does, honestly, because that's the hip-hop I love. I love lyrics. I love lyricism. And... yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Yeah.
That is so cool. Do you have any specific Afro beats artists that are heavy in your playlist or rotations?
I mean, we were just riding here to Adekunle Gold. I think he's super dope. Who else? It's a lot of names that I actually don't know, but he is one of my favorites. He comes up a lot. I play a lot of him. I don't know. I mean, I love Burna. Like when he first came out, I was on it immediately. Tiwa Savage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about these different arcs of your career, and I think one thing that's really worth highlighting is how you've been able to transition into these different eras seamlessly almost, where I feel like some artists aren't able to transition into these next parts of their career. What have you been able to do or to be comfortable in those transitions?
Man, I mean... I'm kind of one of those people. I just get bored quickly.
Yeah.
So, and when an opportunity comes up, I am just very much one of those people that's like, all right, let me try. Let me see. Let me try. I lean into the uncomfortableness. It's not an easy thing to do, but I just think it's important for growth. I do that just even in my personal life. So I think, and longevity. I think also, again, starting at the beginning, I had a manager who that was kind of our blueprint about what is it that you want for your career, and this is how we should go about it. You can't just stay here, because if you do that, then it becomes stagnant. So I think that did start from very early. Yeah.
Do you think there's more of that these days? Do you think artists now are more willing to kind of transition in and out of different things relative to kind of maybe how it was in the past?
Oh yeah, I think because pretty much lots of artists have a line of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a clothing line,
whether it's clothing or makeup,
cosmetic.
Cosmetic or whatever. So I think that is now more the norm than anything. Yeah.
But again, the blueprint. You see what I'm saying, though? I know you try not to big up yourself, but like you again were one of the first people to be doing that.
No, that's real. That is true. I do acknowledge that, definitely. Yeah.
Do you think you get your props enough though?
I don't think about that. I don't care about that kind of shit.
Okay.
I just live my life, babe. Like I'm I feel what I do. I feel very happy. I feel very grateful that, people still want to hear me, still want to come see me, that I can dip in and out of other things, because I think like that because not one thing defines who I am personally. That's how I look at myself. So I don't think on one specific thing, because all these other things make up all that I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, like you are an amalgamation of all these different puzzle pieces put together.
Yeah, so
you're not just one piece.
Yeah. And I know what I've done. So that's no one can take anything away from me.
That's a bar. That's a bar. You don't need the props because you know who you are.
That's it.
Type shit. Well, someone who gave you flowers a few months ago that I thought was really dope was Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
She responded to the excerpt from your book where you were talking about your experience on the Barbershop 3 set. How did you react when you saw that?
You know what? That was another confirmation that it was time to do that book. And also that was one of the chapters that I questioned about putting in the book. And it made me like, once she responded, I was like, I was supposed to do that. And I'm so happy that happened, because it's one of those things in life, no matter what line of work you in, or no matter what you do, we're always in our heads so much thinking that someone else is thinking about you in some way, or and everybody's in their own bubble, in their own shit. And if you sometimes just come together and have a conversation, you'll see that, oh man, we was feeling the same way.
Yeah.
That's great. We could have had dope ass conversations on set instead of we just tiptoeing around each other or whatever, or not even really, not that we didn't speak, because we did speak, but it could have been a bit deeper. But that being said, I was definitely nervous to put that in there and to admit that I was slightly intimidated of the new girl in a way.
Right.
But that's life. You know what I mean? So, I think it was great. And I think the fact that she even responded is like, that's just mature woman shit. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's also mature woman shit that you wrote in the book, how you went to therapy and how you kind of like acknowledged those feelings that you had.
Yeah, because I'm a big believer in not putting my shit on other people. I don't like dumping my shit, and no one else should be dumping their shit on people. That's a very big thing for me. And when I'm in a work environment as well, I want to be focused on my work. And the therapy wasn't so much about her per se as it was about my feelings, about like, here it was, this role, I was here. What does that mean about me? And being a female in hip hop, I think it was so many things of like, are we replaceable? Is this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just, that's just how I am. I do a lot of work on myself.
Yeah, and that's real though. And that's important for growth.
Absolutely.
And I feel like the feelings that you had also aren't unique to just you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that was another thing I think that it was important for me to put into the book, because I was just no matter what we do, I was just in the workplace.
Yeah.
That happens a lot in many different kinds of workplaces. So, yeah.
And what advice would you have to like young women coming up in the game right now who might be dealing with similar feelings of like intimidation about competing with the next woman or et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to hope. When I first started in the business, I was like, I thought it was this big sisterhood. I do, and it wasn't. But but I did have a few people that I could talk to, and I probably didn't talk to them enough. So I would say, if you have somebody that you do probably or maybe have a bond with, even if it's an exec or something, especially a female exec or something like that, try to reach out. I think it's important. Or even if it's somebody that's not in the business, maybe just talk about it. I think that's the important thing, is just getting it out. Yeah.
Are there any women in the game right now that you see yourself in different aspects?
No, I don't know. Not really. No, I mean, I enjoy a lot of different people, but no, I don't know that I can say like, oh, that's me or that's that. Not really. No.
Okay.
No.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that you've also like paved the way, obviously, for so many women in the game. And how do you think gender relations have changed since you first came out?
I don't know. Have they?
So I was about to say, if they've changed at all.
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I'm not fully in it as much as I was. I think one thing that I always say that for me is just positive, such a positive thing, is that there are so many other female MCs just in the landscape, period. Because there was a time where there was nothing. There was a time where there was one or two. And it's important for balance, period, to have the female voice. So I'm just happy that there are so many more there. Yeah.
I think what's also just so impressive is how you've been able to remove yourself from the rat race and the game of it all. How have you been able to do that? Because I think that's super underrated also.
Again, working on myself. But also, I went through a lot. I definitely went through a lot. The book that I put out last year, Who's That Girl, I talk about that time of like, when I was stressed, or what I think I know now is like anxious or depressed, I went to drinking. Like that was my tool. I started drinking really heavy, and that kind of takes a toll on you. And at some point, you got to make a choice about what kind of life you want, what kind of person you want to be. And thankfully, I was like, I need to step back. I need to take a step back, or this will not be healthy for me.
Yeah.
So it was more of a need than a want. And then I found that I was happier that way. So, I dip in and out. Yeah.
Do you think the best work comes through hardship or love?
I think it can come through both. I think we've been told many times that it has to be hardship, which I believe. But I think, the frequency of love is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been able to remove yourself from it, but you're still and will always be a creative.
Yes.
Do you still ever get that itch to pick back up the pen?
I write all the time. I write poems. I jot stuff down all the time. I will say, doing the thing that I did with NYU and with all the artists, that opened something up in me that kind of, I was like, ooh, can I get back in the studio? Being on this tour makes me feel like, is it time to just put out a song? It starts happening, that feeling, and it's a nice feeling. That feeling of wanting to be creative, get back in the studio and make a record. It's a never say never, because music is my first love and will always be. It's just, at the right time, the right situation. I don't know.
So we're not closing the door.
Never close the door.
Never close the door. In the 2020s even, potentially.
Never close the door. I won't say an album as such, but I do just being creative, having fun.
Throwing a feature. You've thrown some features over the last few years.
Yeah. And I enjoy doing that, but we shall see. Yeah.
Okay. I think that gives us enough hope. You know what I mean? So we've been talking a lot about just the different arcs of your life and career. You evolved so much. Who would you say Eve is today in 2025?
I mean, I wear a lot of hats now. Definitely always going to be an artist, always going to love music, but I'm a mom now. I'm a wife. I'm, a producer, creator, risk taker. I don't know. There's no one word or one way to say it. I don't know. lot more, definitely a lot smarter. Definitely a lot smarter. Yeah.
But I think that brings it full circle because we were saying before how you couldn't be put into one box or defined in one way.
I hate boxes. I really do. It makes me itch.
Makes you itch?
Yes.
Professional box breaker.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I like that.
Yeah, let's put that on the billboard.
I like that.
Well, Eve, that's my last question. Did you have anything else you want to tell the people?
Nah, this is dope. Thank you. This was a good interview.
Thank you so much. Well, that's all for me. For Complex, I am Jordan Rose. Peace. Yeah, woo!